Shalom, brothers and sisters. Hope you're good today. So today we're going to talk about a couple of misunderstanding situations that both Africans and African Americans, undergo. And as I've always been telling you, it is always this something which we call misunderstanding between these two people. And I'm gonna show you why there is so misunderstanding. And for instance, if you're watching this video, and you'll realize that these are two people, an African brother, for the first video, an African brother and an African American brother who are like in some sort of debate, which is on Twitter. But if you kind of hear their argument, makes you wonder why even these people competing against each other, because they're like competing, literally competing against each other. It's like they're comparing what has Africans done, what has African Americans have done.
As quota system beneficiaries. They are there because they are the best, they are top dogs in their field, and it has
Oh,
nothing to do with Africa.
wait. Hold on. Okay, so now you said, how can I, a high school dropout, which I did drop out of high school. You said other people, I can't
I
compete
am not
with them.
I don't even know that you dropped out of high school. I'm just making an example.
Okay. I thought you said me. Because I am a high school dropout, but I'm
Okay. Now here's my point. My friends, one of my friends here work at Microsoft.
Yes.
So if you are asked to take my friend's job, are you capable of doing that? That is a legitimate question.
I guess not.
So, okay, now I want you to understand something. So instead of us to have this polarizing discussion around the place of Africa or the black people in the world now, we need to come together. I am not here to preach division, however it is. But you need to stop telling your history from 1960s, from 1970. You need to go back down in time. Because we are here because the West interfere with our own development trajectory. They came to our country, stole our resources, and then build this infrastructure you are glorifying here. You are here because of our own resources. Your ancestors didn't fight this alone. Our resources was used in building this infrastructure you are glorifying. That is what you need to acknowledge.
That ain't true.
That is the absolute truth. Except you don't know your history.
And that ain't true, sir.
Okay.
Let me
just round up my point.
Wait, because you
Let me
said
round
that
up
about
my point.
Wait, because you said that about 20 times. You keep saying that we've gotten the resources from over there and built this structure. America, you're saying the place that I glorify. I'm not glorifying anything. I'm just talking about my lineage as a foundational Black American. This structure was built by foundational Black American labor. What resources did we get from you to build this place? I want to hear that. When people just keep saying things over and over.
Sorry. You unmuted me, so here
hear my question. Okay,
I had your point, and let me make mine now.
I am so glad somebody finally fucking said it, because this is an actual problem. So both of my parents are from West Africa. Like, my dad's from Sierra Leone and my mother is from Mali. So they came to the country in like fucking, I want to say maybe like 93, 94. These fucking people are so anti-Black, and I really do believe that played a role in how they were treating me when I was first brought into the world, right? Like, the way that they talk about Black Americans, it makes me fucking ill sometimes. Like, the way that they'll talk about Black fucking Americans is the same way that some non-Black and white people talk about Black Americans. And it's so crazy to think about, because I feel like they hear like this like subtle anti-Black rhetoric on like TV, or maybe that's like perpetuated into like movies. I mean, of course, like, we can only blame white supremacy, right? Like, it's fucking everywhere. But I really don't think people understand like how much like anti-Blackness a lot of African people like hold against Black Americans. And that's so asshat backwards, because it's like, bro, we're one in the fucking same. Like, why are we doing this right now? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
So when you say things like Africans don't like Black people, keep in mind where the Africans are getting their narrative about Black people from. I'm an immigrant, but I was young when I came here. But my mother used to tell me all the time that she did not want me to associate with Black people, because this was in the 80s. All Black people were hoes, pushers, or pimps, or gang members. If you look in the news these days, in America, all these black people getting shot. If you're not familiar with the history of police violence against black people, then I don't know, you start to get the wrong idea about black people. So I don't judge foreigners for not liking black people. I think they just need education. Yeah, they're getting their education from white supremacist American news. Keep that in mind. Not only that, also, if you look at the non-black foreigners that come here, they tend to not like black people either. They tend to associate with the majority so that they can benefit from the majority's position. So, yeah, I'm not going to go around judging. He's just a person who went on a killing spree because he did not like black Americans. We're not going to generalize and say that Africans don't like Americans. We're not going to do that with we're not going to do that with our Pan-African self. Not with the Black Girl Follow train going on. Not with Martin Luther King's birthday just passing. Not with Black History Month coming up. We can't do this, y'all. We can't.
So I usually say we have trouble in paradise. My paradise that I'm referring to Africa. Africa is the paradise that is having this trouble. And African Americans and Africans, we both belong to Africa. So a brother says that the resources that were used are from Africans, you see. And the African American is also asking the brother to tell him what resources did Africa give them. There are two things that come into play. These both people are like brothers who are fighting for the same thing, and the enemy is there watching them. The enemy is within them watching them. You know the enemy, you know the person that I'm trying to talk about. But here's the thing. It is true. African Americans built the United States, right? Which is true. Do you know that we have two types of resources? We have the human resources, and we have the capital as also a resource. So human resources, this refers to the skills that a person offers in form of a job or something, and later on it comes to a product. And as slaves, that what African Americans were taken, they were taken as human resources because they built the United States where people are seeing. But now, the other resources that the brother is trying to talk about, mineral resources that they were taken from Africa. So if you listen to both of them, they are both right. But the question is, why are these people still fighting against each other? Now, that's the question that I'm also disturbed about, because these two types of resources, they are all in Africa. And they're both right, because human resources, the African Americans, these are Africans originally took from Africa to the United States and different slave ports which they were taken to. Also, the second type of resources that which is also here is this resource which the capital which was which was used. I'm talking about the copper. I'm talking about name them, the minerals, the gold, and everything which was being taken during slavery, and this came in form of colonialism, which Africa was being colonized at the same time. So, brothers and sisters, if you're watching this video for the first time, kindly tell me what you think in the comment section. It's really, really important for you to hear what you think about, this type of hatred which has always been there. And it's so sad and it makes people sick. Hearing people from the same community, people who share the same resources. I mean, initially, we all come from Africa, and everything that we are fighting from is from Africa, right? Because the resources as human beings, they came from Africa. And the number two, the capital which was used as resources also comes from Africa. So you're wondering, why are we still fighting against each other? And this is the time where we should be coming together, standing as people from the black community. And I've always been telling you this, that we need to stand together as people from the black community, because the enemy is always celebrating seeing us fight and divide. They use divide and conquer to still conquer Africans until today. We often say that we are not colonized today. Trust me, we are still colonized, because if they can still be successful in doing this to you, and every day you've watched the video to the brothers and sisters, they saying that Africans are not good people. They have been taught to hate, that like Africans are taught to hate African Americans, which is a lie. And I created a video saying that most of even Africans haven't interacted with African Americans. So tell me why, how a person will hate you and they haven't even interacted with you, because most of us, we haven't received a number of African Americans. For example, in Kenya, there is a least number of African Americans in Kenya. We don't have a lot of African Americans in Kenya. I would say that most of African Americans go to places like, Ghana. Most African Americans go to places like Tanzania, and Kenya is, it's still rising as a place where African Americans are high, but they're still not there much. So tell me, why would we still continue fighting? We as people from the same community. And I totally disagree with this person that says that we Africans, we are taught to hate you, when our parents, majority of them haven't even met with you, leave alone us. So how are we taught to be hating you? We're not fighting against, like, we want resources from each other. An African American comes to Africa today, they'll find a way of buying their own land. They want to grab the land, so what are we fighting for? An African leaves Africa today and goes to the United States. They look for jobs, they apply for CVs. What are we still, why are we fighting? It doesn't make sense. Tell me, why are we still fighting? So guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. Today I feel like punching somebody, because why will we still fight? And we're people from the same community. It's so saddening, bro. Come on. When will these things end? It's so it's so sad. So, as I always say, if you're watching this video for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to my channel. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. If you're watching this video for the first time and you feel like anything that I said resonates with you, kindly consider smashing the subscribe button. It really means important to me, and it's not something which will take you, it's just something that you're pressing, and maybe next time if you see the content that resonates with you, feel free to click and watch. But now please subscribe to my channel. It really, really, really means a lot to me. Until then, guys, I've said and I've said again, it is the time for the people from the Black community to come together, because if it's not now, the enemy will still continue dividing us. And it's so sad when the enemy continues dividing us. I don't like seeing people from the same family fighting. It's so bad that people from the same family are fighting. Yet this is the time that we should start, trying to understand each other's culture, because we are both unique in our way, in as much as we are people from the Black community. African Americans have their unique culture, which is so unique in its own way and so vibrant in its own way. And I normally disagree with people who say that African Americans don't have a culture. No population, there is no population that doesn't have a culture. In as much as they have 100 and above, those people have a culture. Even if they are staying in the forest, they have their own culture. I'm talking about the customs in which they be with different people, how they interact during the day, the social structure, the economic, the political. That's what makes them become having a cultural animal. A group of people makes it to become a cultural animal. So a person who is saying that African Americans doesn't have culture, they need to at least think twice of what they're trying to say. So guys, until then, see you. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.